When I was 9 years old, my mom had a friend whose son was in the entertainment industry. He's a little kid who was on a show called 8 is Enough with Dick Van Patten way back in the day. She said, you ought to go take your kids down there and see this agent. So my mom did, took us down there, and she signed me up. I started doing McDonald's commercials, 409 Cleaner commercials, Fruit Loops, Fruit Roll-Ups, all this stuff. And then I auditioned for a part on a TV show called Growing Pains, starring Alan Thicke, the talk show host from Canada. And I got the part, and the show took off. And pretty quickly, the storylines started to shift and find, where the audience was really keying in. And pretty soon, I was the 14-year-old hormone with feet who was dating every girl at the high school, getting into trouble, sneaking out the window at night. But he was a great character that people really liked. He was charming, he was endearing, and it was a lot of fun. I mean, it's nothing I wanted, wasn't an aspiration of mine, but at the end, it turned out to be a beautiful career opportunity for me, and so many great things have happened because of it.
What was it like being on it? I mean, because Growing Pains was super. It was like one of the most popular shows on television at that time.
Yeah, that's right. So, imagine if there were only, 2 gun manufacturers.
Right.
Well, then they'd have a lot of guns and they'd be really popular because there is nobody else. Well, we had in the 1980s ABC, NBC, and CBS. There was no Netflix. There was no Hulu. There was no Amazon, nothing like that. So Growing Pains and a few other shows are the shows that everybody watched. So millions and millions of people grew up with me on TV. That's how you ended up having this picture underneath your pillow all those years.
Yeah, all those years. I didn't even bring up the poster.
Yeah, let's not even go there.
But being a teenage kid, what was your personal life like? I mean, obviously you had your acting professional life, but as a teenager, you have a personal life too. What was it like? Were you like, did you isolate yourself, or were you?
So I started acting when I was about 9. Growing Pains started when I was about 14. And, I was like any other 14-year-old kid. I was awkward. I was, just sort of gangly, no muscles, trying to, get a girl to, look at me, and pimples on my face. And here I'm on TV. And now you're sort of like a fish in a fishbowl. And so I was very kind of introverted, and I was just shy. Even though I was on TV, on a stage, and millions of people on a TV show, I was just personally insecure.
Yeah.
And it was an awkward teenage life, but it was my life. And I don't have another teenage life to compare it to. So I got to say that was normal for me. But I eventually came to love what I did, and I thought acting was fun. Again, it was never a big goal. Today, I don't miss it. When I do have a chance to act, I'll do it if I need to, but I'd rather be doing other things.
Yeah.
So my teenage life was, I look back and I go, I couldn't have written a story any better, because it was because of that I ended up doing this show Growing Pains, which led to other things that you had mentioned today, movies and TV shows. And then also my girlfriend on Growing Pains ended up being the love of my life. We got married. We've now been married for 35 years. We have 6 children and a granddaughter. So I wouldn't change anything.
Yeah, I had botched it in the beginning. I said 35 years.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you.
During that time, were you, I mean, now that you're, kind of known for your faith and your walk in faith, like, were you a believer at that time?
No. I was a believer in other things. I was a believer in atheism. And then I lost my faith in atheism when I was about 18 years old. And I like to tell people I'm a recovering atheist. I lost my faith in this idea that the universe popped out of nothing. All of it is here by time and chance and reproductive advantage, not the result of an intelligent, powerful, personal designer. So that's where I am now. But back then, no, like I said, I never went to church. I thought Jesus was part of a different Trinity: the Easter Bunny, the Tooth Fairy, and God.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I was about 17 years old that I met a really cute girl on the set of Growing Pains, and she was one of 3 identical triplets. And I was struggling with which one to ask out on a date because I couldn't tell them apart. They were identical. And so I was like, door number 1, door number 2, and I asked this girl out, and she invited me to come meet her family. Sweet girl, sweet family. And the address she gave me on a Sunday morning, I found out was a church. So here I am showing up, thinking that God is just a great big fairy tale in this church full of 2,000 people with a man in a suit up front and a big Bible preaching this message. And I just wanted the girl. I wasn't interested in God. But I heard a message that really got me thinking, asking good questions, and it led me to a decision that ended up changing my life.
What was it?
Well, the questions were all about God and other religions, about evolution, about Islam, about Hinduism, Buddhism. What about all these other questions? You know, how did Noah fit all those animals in the ark? And how could a good and loving God let children die and suffer? And ultimately, I got a lot of those questions answered by really smart people. I didn't think there were answers. And this girl's father said to me something that really put everything in perspective. He said, Kirk, if you want to know God, you've got to go to him yourself. He's not a force. He's not an idea. He's not a problem for you to solve. He's not some sort of a mirage that you need to believe in against all science. He made your eyes and he sees you. He keeps your heart beating at night. He hears you when you talk because he made your ears. And the deal is you have to go to him personally, and you need to go to him on his terms, not yours. I said, what are those? He says, humility and faith. I didn't have either one. I'm an atheist. And I think I'm big man on campus at Warner Brothers Studios at 17 years old.
Yeah.
Right? Entitled, arrogant.
Everybody tells you how great you are.
He was
day.
Exactly. And the reason that was important for me was because at that time, if you wanted to get an appointment with this guy, you'd have to go to him on his terms.
Yeah.
Between scenes, through a manager at a time that was convenient for him. And he was pointing out that if I was going to talk to the creator of the universe, I would not be the celebrity in that relationship.